Chat, here we go. We are starting a nice series of show matches. I'm going to explain it to you all again. The lovely Twitch viewers just got it a second ago. We are doing a little bit of a build-up here for the World Championship of 1v1s. If you guys haven't been paying attention to RLCS 1v1, where have you been? But Moxy's opponent is now finally set. Nwpo and Diaz played this week, past weekend, 2 weekends ago in Raleigh, and the winner was Mr. Nwpo. So Nwpo and Moxy are set for a date in September to play each other in Lyon, France. But in the build-up, we are going to have a little bit of a match between them without them playing each other. Of course, they're going to want to save playing each other for LAN. I can't imagine either one of them would want to give the other reps before that time. So what we're going to be doing here instead is we're going to be having Moxy and Nwpo playing against the same group of players. I think my plan is to do 10. 10 different players, and whoever has the better record between the two of them will get the $1,000 prize. So, the plan right now is to have Rezears play Moxy and then play Nwpo. Now, there's a good chance that these two 1v1ers, who in theory could be the best two in the world, that's kind of what the idea behind the RLCS 1v1 is, supposed to be finding out for us. So there's a good chance that these guys go 10-0, which means, and I'm not sure I've let them know, they need to know, there may be a tiebreaker based on games. So not only are these guys going to be trying to win as many matches as possible, they should be trying to walk away with as many games as possible in order to win the challenge against the other. Now, this is going to be really, really tough for players who accept the challenge of trying to play them both. Because as you can see, it can be a bit frustrating, playing against the likes of Moxy. And this time, Moxy is going to get to go first. I do think it might be beneficial to play players second. I guess it would kind of depend. Maybe if the other player lost, you wouldn't want to play somebody with momentum. But for the most part, players are going to be struggling to win against these two. And I would imagine playing after, a player's been forced to lose a best of 5 might be a little bit even easier to beat up on them and keep them going. But there's a good amount of players who probably can steal games off these guys. And maybe, just maybe, Rezears could be one of them, as he is down to try and run the gauntlet here. And he's got himself a 3rd goal, despite Moxy getting off to a really strong start. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribing here. We got a hype train going. Eros, thank you for the 51 months. Rezears, thank you for the 19 months of Prime. And Juckle the Cats, thank you for 11 months Tier 1. Rezears actually going to go ahead and tie it up. Moxy has been gone for a while. For those of you who have been watching Moxy streams, you've probably been wondering where they've been. They are normally here all the time, it feels like. But I think he burnt himself out here playing Rocket League. But now, when I hopped into his chat recently, he said he's ready. The fire is reignited. He knows who he's going to have to play, and he knows he's going to have to play at his best of his abilities if he wants to get the win, as Rezears is actually going to put himself in the lead as he power shots top rights. Rezears, I think, is back from OCE. He went and played the RLCS season in OCE, was not able to make it, into a major spots. And so now has come back to EU. I think there's going to be, last chance qualifiers in EU. And so I think his thoughts were this is his next best chance although it's Rezears playing in MENA. There's another story going on. I was actually about to record a video about it that involves Rezears. And I don't know if he's going to play in a MENA last chance qualifier this weekend or what's going on. But we'll have to, check out the YouTube later for that. I think I'm still going to end up covering that story later. But for now, Rezears has got good connection to EU servers, and that's what really matters here for this 1v1. As Rezears going to take this into the back corner and try and air dribble the length of the field. Nice shot from Rezears. I was looking at Rezears' RL duels to get an idea of how prepared he would be for a matchup between these two. And it actually hasn't been, a lot of 1v1 activity from him. He played in Salt Mine 4, which was December of last year. And his last, elimination game was against Moxy. I think he made it into the final playoff day. But then he was pretty much off the grid in terms of 1v1. A lot of that has to do with going to OCE. We were hoping to get him against some OCE 1v1ers, but it never really worked out because, believe it or not, OCE time zone does not work well with my time zone. So I think there was just never going to be a time that we could do it cleanly, as Moxy cuts this one away for Mr. Rezears. But he did play OCE. Was it like a Cash Cup or was it RLCS? It might have been actual RLCS 1v1 at OCE. And he was able to get the win there. Taking down, I believe, Caleb in the finals. A guy who has been doing well over there in OCE 1v1. So Moxy's going to win a kickoff goal to the sidewalk. Guys, we're on track for a 14-14 game. I've been trying to introduce the concept here, talk a little about the players. We are on track for a 14-14 1v1 game here. Moxy also, you know, a slight spoiler for matches that have happened recently, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about it, but you know what? It's so obviously going to happen, I don't feel too bad about it. Moxy played in the European qualifier for Ascension Protocol, the LAN that's going to be happening in a couple weekends, I believe, real soon here. And he was able to get one of that qualification spots from EU. So he's definitely going to be the guy to beat when he arrives in Canada later this month. You're such an awesome clickbaiter, guys. I'm just telling the truth. What would you want me to call a challenge between Nwpo and Moxy in which they play, you know, 10 opponents and basically are competing against each other in record? I mean, it's the reality is Road to Nwpo versus Moxy. That's a pretty good name, actually. But wait a second. It's a little bit, you know, no one can misconstrue that as them potentially playing each other early. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Nice shot from Moxy off the ceiling. Moxy and Nwpo run the gauntlet. Well, at some point we can't have, you know, it be sentences. I kind of like Road to Nwpo versus Moxy. We'll have to think about it. To be fair, I only asked the players, you know, just today, so I didn't get to spend a lot of time on the naming process. You know how we usually do things around here. Just name it the Feer 500 or whatever. Nice flick from Moxy. 9-8. It has seemed fairly equal between the two. 102 km/h flick all the way from his own half. We haven't locked in every single player. You know, there's not going to be a direct schedule for this. It'll be regular type show matches that we do. Find players as they are available. I have reached out to a ton of players in efforts to start scheduling their matches against both Nwpo and Moxy. And Nwpo versus Moxy would, yes, be at the end of the gauntlet, but that, of course, will be happening on LAN in France. No spoilers for that one here. Rezears has 2 goals to make up. At the halfway mark, we were on track for 14-14. It has slowed down slightly as Rezears gonna pinch this one off of his post to make a save. Moxy's just way too good at wasting out the time, I would imagine, but he does miss this one. Rezears with absolutely no boost left over cannot get possession away from Moxy, who is gonna tap one more in. 11-8. Rezears did a good job putting up a lot of goals, but it does seem like Moxy is going to take game number 1. And I'm going to try, maybe I'll break this in the future, but I'm going to try and have all of the games played back to back. So, for example, today, Rezears is going to play Moxy and then he's going to play Nwpo. And we'll try and do a healthy amount of letting one player go first versus the other. But Moxy had to get going, which is how we decided to have him go first. Moxy off the ceiling now on a carry just to try and show off a little bit of aerial game. It's going to be a fake, and it will drop in. He's almost getting to his 14. Just Rezears is scoring a slow down. Can we call it the Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Race for the Feer Tournament? Listen, it's a close contest between that one and Road to Nwpo versus Moxy. I mean, They're both really good. There's merits to both. But we'll have to wait and see. Game number 2. Moxy able to win the high-scoring game against Mr. Rezears. I don't know if Rezears has been grinding 1v1, but he is top 10 in the world right now. I think he's actually number 10. We'll see if that will result in him having a good chance here against Mr. Mock. Little zap dash recovery there. Tried to pre-flip to throw Moxy off. Did Moxy just miss? What? Moxy, I'm not sure you're going to be able to get away with that. And now almost own goaling as Rezears chips it at the side wall. Moxy directing it towards his own back wall. He seems like he's expecting to get possession here eventually. But it doesn't ever happen that way. Rezears now in control. First touch, probably a bit heavier than he would have liked because he loses his dribble and now has to recover. Moxy just takes it away and gets a goal. So all that comes down to the catch touch. That was a bit too much. And then he had to try and find a way to protect a rolling ball. Not easy to do. And Moxy is on the board. Moxy in the back corner trying to do his classic flick, and Rezears is going to let him, but he misses just a bit high, and the recovery from Rezears is not enough. Attempted to come flying back into the play. Wasn't quite able to do it. Rezears cutting this one around Moxy in the midfield. Moxy's recovered, jumping to the back wall. Rezears overshot it. I think there's a way he could have dished that in based on how Moxy is moving. He seems to be making an intentional effort to stay active defensively based on what we're normally used to seeing from him. Now he's backed up after a demo, has possession, wants to go back to his flick. Rezears is going to be in and out. And maybe actually sent the ball to the back wall just a little bit too strong, which resulted in him having to close a lot more distance before getting the follow-up touch. If he can tap it softer, maybe he's able to make something out of that midfield play. But as it stands, he dives out and cannot get a controlling touch no matter how hard he tries, and ends up falling into the hands of Moxy. Rezears reset, nice pop. So much movement on the pop to get it over the top of Moxy. It's hard to make these plays near the back wall because you can't get the kind of movement you need, but Moxy not expecting that at all. You could see him even pulling off the boost, thinking he was going to be intercepting it there, but Rezears gets it all the way over. It is Rocket League's 10-year anniversary today. Pretty exciting stuff. Type 1 in chat if you, like me, played in 2015. My goodness. Rezears, nice save. And a follow-up save as well. This could all be important in the long run if he's able to keep Moxy out. He should have a big clear, but it's still going to be a Moxy. Wait a second. It's a goal. I was going to say it was going to be a Moxy possession. Moxy seems so calm and really unfazed by this long shot. I felt like he thought he was just going to collect the ball and keep his possession going, but man, Rezears gets it all the way to the nets. And it will be a 3-3. Much lower scoring game. At this exact moment, we were 7-7 just a game ago. Much more reasonable as Rezears going to go to the ceiling and fake down into a 50. Protected against a challenge making contact, but a challenge did not. It's also that Chatter's 26th birthday. Chat, say happy birthday to him. 15 years old when the game came out. If I was 15 years old, I would have been a pro, right, chat? Unfortunately for me, I was 22, I believe. So, unlucky. Rezears up 1. A lot of opponents have seen leads against Moxy. He actually did not go for his classic flick. Turned left and flicked right. A rare occurrence from Moxy as Rezears is going to survive this demo chase. And now looking to try and make something happen from near the net. Moxy has the save. And he seems to be rushing his flick game. He's been shooting from far out. It was working earlier. Ooh, but now maybe the game plan all along was to flick and get a demo. Rezears actually respawns just well enough to bump Moxy and gets himself a goal. That is great respawning. And Moxy agrees. Drops a yes in the chat. It truly does cover everything. Moxy. Nice little cuts to put it into the top right after threatening the center of the nets. Good conversion on a kickoff possession. Moxy, another kickoff win. Rezears thought about going for boost, decided maybe to turn back in. Ultimately, does not get the interception he needed. That wide swing was enough. It is so tough to play against Moxy. No lead is ever safe. And it feels like he forces you to make the right decision all the time. And eventually, you end up breaking and making a misstep here or there, but Rezears is going to win this kickoff. Kickoff possessions are a big part of it too, which Moxy had won the last few. Rezears controls this one. Goes for a double jump bump. Now it's up 6-5. Moxy grabbing a demo. 25 seconds left to go. Rezears gets a low 50 and has 23 boosts to work with. Oh my goodness, Moxy's already on the back wall playing keep away. Little zap dash recovery. Rezears goes all in with that flip. Moxy, oh my goodness, he goes for a bounce shot. Actually left the window open for Rezears to recover here. If he had gotten it straight in, it would have been a different story. But Rezears, who got one pad the whole way, actually overshoots it. Now it's 6-6 with 11 seconds left to go. Rezears won this possession. Is going to go to the side wall. Flipping into a perfect setup. Moxy goes ceiling. Rezears try to stay underneath it. Ball's floating in a good position for him. He's going to have boost advantage as well, but Moxy has no interest in the ball staying up in the air. So he will slam it to the ground, and it's OT in game number 2. Wave dash from Rezears, who had a great advantage on the kickoff. This pinch goes into the corner. He's able to get a boost steal. Moxy should be able to switch the field. High pop. Moxy will be the one to protect it, but really far away from him. He just has to hand the ball over in the process of taking a shot. Rezears is going to hand it right back. Oh, what a great bounce for Rezears. He was going to have to rush back on low boost if that ball came off the back wall. Instead, it pops straight up, allows him to pick up Moxy's corner. And now trying to do his best to not allow Moxy free possession, but ultimately does have to back off and let Moxy get his carry into a flick. Rezears picks up his own back corner, and now he's got a possession with the ball on top of his car. Flick to the top shelf. Moxy denies. Rezears, can he keep this one going? Moxy much more passive. Seemed like he was going to threaten an early challenge, and that might have forced Rezears up early. But ultimately, he does back off. Rezears, too much on it. Has to be careful here to not let Moxy get a counterattack. Moxy not able to follow up before Rezears guides it off target. Dodge of a demo by Rezears on the back wall. Taps this one out to the midfield. Rezears got to back off. Pick up the back corner. Moxy to the ceiling for a reset. Rezears off the ceiling as well. It's hit down and in. Moxy will win after a minute and 20 seconds of OT. He is not going to drop this game against Rezears. Rezears, a risky challenge doesn't pay off. Credit to Moxy for reading that. And he will go up 2-0. Connor, thank you for the prime. T. Subakithakilla, thank you for the 3 months. Mentu, and thank you for the more 14 months. And Claus for the 6 months prime. Game number 3. I'll go ahead and explain what's going on here again. Those of you watching the video back or who've been on the stream, I've heard it a few times, but it is an interesting challenge here. and it helps you know what's at stake. We're going to have Moxy and Nwpo play against the same group of 1v1ers. Nwpo and Moxy, who are set to play at the World Championship in September, are not going to be playing each other, as they're, of course, going to be saving that for the World Championship. But they are going to be getting preparation 1v1 matches against anybody who's down to run it on EU servers against them. Rezears is the first. So Rezears is playing against Moxy, and then also playing against Nwpo. And just to keep you, on the edge of your seat for every single match, there's a good chance that the two best 1v1ers in the world right now could be Nwpo and Moxy, who are not going to be losing to anyone not named Nwpo and Moxy, which means they might just go 10-0 against everyone. So the game differential could end up being a tiebreaker between the two. Who is going to dominate more than the other? Right now, Moxy stealing away a game number 2 that Rezears looked strong in. Question is, can Rezears find that same momentum he had previously, transfer into a game win in the future? So yes, that means that right after this Rezears Moxy match, we will be doing our Rezears Nwpo match. Rezears is playing for $100 per match, in case you're wondering what's his motivation. On top of beating one of the best in the game right now, he also walks away with a nice prize. He does manage to get the win. Rio, they with the 7 months tier 1. This is going to be confusing to a lot of people. A Liquipedia page is needed. It'll get created, I'm sure. There's no question. I can also talk to the guy I know who does a lot of Liquipedia work. He's always excited to make a new page, it would seem. Nice delay flip. If not, I think I might do this anyways. I just didn't have time to do it right before the stream today. When the matches are ready, you got to go. I'll create a little graphic and a scene that we can bounce back and forth between to remind everybody of the matches that have happened, the current standings, that kind of stuff. It'll be clearer as time goes on. But at the end of the day, if we had matches ready to go, you go. You don't just sit around and wait. Moxy. Yeah, Reed is here. Just a weird format. It's simple enough. This is a clickbait Hall of Famer. I'm really not trying. I genuinely was like, this is what it is. It's a Nwpo Moxy challenge. Let's switch the name. I think people will. Let's go Moxy versus Rezears, which is the truth. Road to Nwpo versus Moxy. How about the $1,000 road to Nwpo versus Moxy? Is that? I mean, is that better for now? I know. I mean, clearly people are thinking that Nwpo and Moxy are going to play each other, but I think to me it's obvious that they'll want to wait for that. I can't imagine they'd want to just grind out a ton of matches or play any matches before the actual World Championship one. So I swear I got what I imagine is the next best thing, which is a bunch of great matches between the two of them playing against other people. I promise this came from a good place. Moxy dropping the what? I think he did not expect that bounce. I like to road to Nwpo versus Moxy. That just feels good. Surely people understand what's going on. Moxy, little camera check for a moment to see what Rezears is up to. The clickbait is crazy. You should have done Moxy versus Rezears, then Nwpo versus Rezears. But it's not. It's part of a bigger event. That just wouldn't be the full truth. Moxy trying to sneak in a shots as he cuts it off the back wall, but Rezears is going to make it 7-4. Got it. I didn't say verse. I could have said Nwpo versus Moxy challenge, which would still technically be true because they are challenging each other via playing other players, but I didn't do that. I didn't think about it. But even if I put and, I think you guys are just really, you know, breaking down the minutia of the name of the tournaments or name of the events. Ooh, Moxy. Is he going to be able to steal this one away as well? Listen, I know I might say Nwpo. I think it's a little bit closer to how he says it a bit more often. But I think the perfect example of why I maybe still say Nwpo on occasion is because somebody in chat, in order to describe this via text, said, yeah, it's pronounced Nobu, and then spelt his name not using the letters that he uses to spell his name. I don't know why Feer keeps saying, and then he just spelt out exactly how he says it. NWPO. Like you, in order to represent how I say Nwpo, you get how that just makes it tough to switch over, right? Ooh, Moxy. Gonna get his 6 within 15 seconds. Rezears needs a big kickoff here. So tough against a guy like Moxy. It's a wave dash kickoff. It's straight down the center of the field. This has got to be tilting for Rezears. This is what I'm talking about when I say it might be a little bit easier to play Rezears after these matches than before, because this is not an easy one to deal with. As he now has to try and get the lead. I mean, he's got to remind himself that he has done well. He's going to steal the midfield boost. Moxy cutting it infield. Fake challenge. This one gets popped up. Rezears, I'm sure, wanted to make a 0-second play. Moxy flipped up and actually boxed Rezears out for a second. So it is another OT and game number 3. And a kickoff that has to be won by Rezears. Wave dash kickoff. Moxy is not in the right position. This one popped towards the net. It's in. Rezears is on the board. This one had to be a win for Rezears. And he was able to hold on, but it took him to OT as we had to game number 4. Game number 4. Moxy and Rezears. Moxy pinning this one off of his crossbar to start this game, but Rezears has the follow-up, and he is up 1-0. Oh, interesting. I think Rezears was maybe trying to shoot with that save. He really tried to line up a post pinch that he could have made a lot easier. And he got a lot of power, the power that he wanted, but the power was straight into the air and right back down instead of across the field. Rezears, oh my goodness, able to make that save on low boost after transitioning to the back wall. He is able to steal the midfield 100 as well. Wave dash and set up his own play. He actually got a little bit in too deep. He cared too much about stealing that other 100 boost. I think if he had just locked in and focused on the follow-up touch, he would have been able to just score, and who cares if he has boost advantage at that point. But now he'll back off. Moxy pre-jumped. Rezears couldn't see him behind the ball, but actually knew where he was because of that, because there was space in the air that was being covered by the ball. So he knew he hadn't come back down. Ooh, Rezears this time does not pick up the 100 that he probably needed to, and he's going to drop a whoops because he knows that Moxy has him. Not only is not picking up the boost the problem, but he puts himself in a spot where he has to backflip the ball into the corner, and that just makes him such an easy target. Moxy knows exactly where he's going to land off that flip, especially when he has no boost to fly anywhere else. But Rezears has had a good kickoff. It's been important to have a strong kickoff against a guy like Moxy. Rezears has made sure to get a get a goal here or there. Did Reed already get a Wikipedia page up? Look at him go. What a hero. At least it looks like it started. Oh, it is. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Exclamation point in practice. It's probably already attached, knowing how hard the mods work around here. Moxy, nice little ceiling. Was this a pinch or just a quick shot? He wins out in the midfield. Chases ahead of Rezears. No, just a shot off of the bounce on the ceiling. But a good bit of keep away. Somebody noted in the chat, and I agree with them a few moments ago, that Moxy is clearly trying to play at maybe a higher speed than he's normally used to. Especially with how he would play in a lot of his ranked 1v1 matches. I feel like he would take it really slow. Kind of like he is right now. But certainly defensively, he has been keeping his speed up and looking to try and see if he can stay in control at breakneck pace. Swirls! Slave of the 84 months, tier 1. Moxy to the ceiling, catch. Trying to pop it over the top of Rezears does not work. Rezears gonna save it off the back line. Get demoed, and Moxy will slowly roll it in for the 5th goal. Desaint9, thank you for the 6 months prime. I have not tried Rematch. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. The new soccer, aka football game. I have not tried it out, no. Maybe I need to. Rezears. Wow, what a nice pre-flip save. He almost converted on a goal. It's not going to be easy to do on a demo that's on your own back line. Rezears. Little bump on the Moxy. This one is staying around the net. Rezears is electing to follow it up instead of going for boost. Definitely the correct decision. And he's able to convert on it as he is within 1. He's really had to lead in basically every game. I mean, Rezears, I think he's led in all of them. Maybe not game number 1, but has struggled to hold on to them and eventually had to secure it late in overtime. Can he switch the scripts and do something that's very tough to do? Play from behind against Moxy and actually find your way all the way back. This is a nice interception. Rezears should have the angle. Can he get it inside the post? No, he can't. Moxy sends one flying to the ceiling, gets the reset, fakes the flick, and it bounces off the crossbar and is easily followable. Rezears, is he going to be able to get a shot out of this? He's going to go for it as he did a camera check to see what Moxy was up to. Moxy went for the boost steal, and yes, he's going to get punished. Rezears jumps over the top of him and sets up a couple quick touches to counterattack. He does not mind losing his boost in that situation. Rezears can find himself in a tough spot here in the blue half, but no boost to work with. He's trying to use wall dashes to make something out of it, but now he's going to be forced to retreat and probably on low boost because Moxy's not going to let him go to a corner. But decent challenge from him to actually survive and get a possession of his own. Now into an air dribble. Moxy jumps early. Surprised Rezears actually got that additional touch to bring the ball more towards him. But there's a lot of mind games going on. Maybe back and forth. Maybe he expects the Moxy, you know, to pre-jump but then pull off of it and fake. But you never know. Right now, 40 seconds. What we do know is that Rezears needs 2 strong kickoffs. And Rezears might have had the first. Gonna pick up the corner boost. Wants to get a demo on Moxy, who's able to single jump, wave dash away, and actually force this one near the net. Power slide catch from Moxy. And then a wall dash bump. No recovery from Rezears. He attempts it, but I think Moxy is probably finishing out this matchup against Rezears. Looks like he's going to drop a game. But there's a reason why Moxy qualified out of Europe in the first place. Moxy, really strong reset. Deciding to leave the window open for Rezears here, as he tries to rep a little bit more aerial mechanics. Rezears gonna get a direct kickoff goal. So now it's starting to become possible. Moxy maybe messing around and regretting it, because it could happen the other way. It'll hit ground. Rezears not able to keep it up. GG's. Moxy will win the first of what is potentially many matches. But let's see if Nwpo can match him.